Mark Gilman, along with Western Oregon head football coach Arne Ferguson. And, Coach, all the hitting of each other is just about over here as you get set for your opening game against Eastern Washington. Let's talk first about the development of the team during the course of fall camp in your mind.
First of all, we graduated some very significant seniors and be able to replace them. Our offense is doing a really nice job of getting the reps that we need as a team to develop our younger receivers and receivers that, for example, like Tyrell Williams, who had a good year last year. We expect great things out of him. Antoine Wafers, another receiver, and Lucas Gonzalez have jumped to the forefront. We're still working with our O-line to solidify that group, which is a very important group with us, and we feel like our running back position, we have three guys that can really come in and they're different types of runners to allow our offensive line and our offense to develop. The good thing also is our tight end development is continuing to increase. Big bodies, Gabe Wilson, Mark Moore, Dustin Hurd, have really come into what we feel that they're grasp of the offense, and we're able to do multiple things with them.
And on the defensive side of the ball as well, you had some bodies to replace there as well, and that's always significant in a throwing conference like the GNAC.
Yeah, and first of all, with our D-line, John Bentham's had a real good fall for us. Sapili's done well. Craig Aikens has been very solid. We expect great things out of him. And then we're still working on our other end to see where that's going to be. And then our backer position, Glenn Moe is an outside backer for us. Has had a real good fall. And Devin Wells has been really solid in controlling the defense, along with our two safeties, Pat Tapea and also Coulter Massenbrook.
Now, this week you take on that Eastern Washington team we mentioned. They've been in the headlines quite a bit, even nationally, after upsetting Oregon State down in Corvallis this past week. They're now number 2 in the FCS rankings. How do you approach a team like this at their place?
Well, first of all, going to Eastern Washington, we've done that, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. It was a great experience for our players. It's a loud environment, very supportive. Now they have red turf, so it's going to be interesting for us to be on the red turf. But they're a very well-coached team. Baldwin does a very nice job, both offensive and defensive, with their team. They play hard, they play physical. And quite a few of the kids that are on their team we actually recruited at some level also. So we know them a little bit, but to see how hard they play and how productive they are is really fun to watch.
Now, playing a team like this, the GNAC conference play begins the following week, and so how do you approach playing a team that's a level up from you, is obviously an elite program at that level? I know you want to win, but how do you approach this with the kids?
Yeah, football subdivision, obviously Division I, they have quite a bit more resources than we have at Western Oregon. We do expect our players to play very well. We expect them to be very competitive. They've had 9 more days of practice and a game underneath their belt. That's our biggest concern. Obviously, also with a quarterback that's very phenomenal. I mean, you saw what we did against OSU. A very good player, very talented player, very smart player. So we know that how the offense will go depends on how he plays, but we expect him to play very well. I mean, in the playoffs game against Sam Houston, he had 30-some points in a half. He had 400 yards passing, 100 yards rushing against OSU. He's a very good team also. So we know we have to contain him, and we know they push the tempo. And they're very efficient in their offense, and also defensively they're very solid and big up front also.
Are you going to go a bit into the depth chart to give the guys some experience out there on the turf?
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, our strength is a number of players that we play. We know they're going to push the tempo, so our sub patterns have to be sharp and crisp because they try not to give you very much opportunity to sub. And we know that to be very successful in our conference, you have to be very competitive against a team, even though they're second in the nation. When we played Montana, they ended up winning the Big Sky also and ended up going to the playoffs. So we know that caliber of play. It's just early, and we got some catch-up to do, being our first game, and make sure we control the penalties and have no penalties, so that we give our kids a chance to be very successful at their house.
But going into this game, a lot to like about this year's edition of the Wolves.
Yeah, going into this game, we feel that our spring and our fall has been the most productive we've had because of experience of our quarterbacks. We just need to get some other positions that to get caught up with the speed of the game and the physicalness of the game, and especially that first game with full contact, obviously, and tackling, those things that in special teams that we've done a good job of put the emphasis on that. But there's nothing like a Saturday game experience to really feel where kids are at in their development.
Well, Coach Arne Ferguson, as always, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.